So, Peter,
Yes.
this is you waiting on the character select screen. Now, had you ever played a Metal Slug game before this?
No, never. I mean, no, not Metal Slug. I mean, I played Contra in the last episode, and not. I think it's a little bit similar, but not Metal Slug. No.
Yeah, and you're very correct in that sense that it is a spiritual successor. Now, the Metal Slug games originated on the NeoGeo hardware, so they were actually cartridge games, arcade cartridge games, which is the one downside to the PSX version. There's a few frames of animation missing, and the load times, of course. So, okay.
Yeah, they were pretty hefty, but I thought that was due to the system I'm running this on.
No. That's just because it was a PlayStation 1. I mean, it was never meant to load this much animation and stuff. I mean, they're having to pull some tricks to get this to work on a PlayStation.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. The PlayStation doesn't have any hardware for 2D graphics.
Oh.
You have to understand that it's like, for example, the most famous 2D game probably on the system is Castlevania Symphony of the Night. And there, instead of using traditional sprite techniques, they literally are using flat polygons with textures on them to replicate sprites. And that may be happening here as well. I'm not sure how this was being rendered. So,
Talking about not being sure, I wasn't sure how to handle this dude, and I didn't figure out that I can simply shoot the grenade throwing guy there at the top, and I even didn't figure out that I can be on this floor above. So yeah, this was quite a challenge.
Yeah, figuring out what is a platform, what isn't. But yeah, you're missing that third fire button at this point, aren't you?
Yeah, totally. And what I was not missing though was the way the animation was done. I mean, those guys are laughing at me. And this is just awesome. Those idiots were just laughing at me, and now I'm like, I'm back, baby, going full Rambo.
Oh yeah, but playing this in the arcades, and I played a lot of Metal Slug in the arcades back in the day. Those guys laughing at you, it really is a motivator to throw another quarter into the machine, dude.
Totally. And I think it's so funny. I mean, the first time I saw it, I was like, what the hell? Seriously? And this is what I actually love about the gaming community, you know. There's or programmers, there's so much love going in those games, and so much hatred. And this is a point where I think the hatred dominated, because, I mean, it's shooting at you left, right, middle, top, bottom, wherever.
You know, I don't think I've ever lost a life on this first boss.
Seriously?
Ever. Yeah. But then again, Metal Slug X isn't the first game in the series. It's actually a retooling. It's sort of like a director's cut version of Metal Slug 2. And the tricks of this level, for example, not losing or a better use of the homing missiles. If you use them properly, you basically finish off the enemy with just the homing missiles.
Okay.
Because you have to try to avoid wasting them on the rockets. And if you concentrate your fire on taking out one of the turrets immediately, then of course you reduce the rate of rockets by a third. And
okay. Yeah, of course. I mean, it totally makes sense, but you have to figure out how it works.
Oh, and here you just missed the actual Metal Slug. So the name of the game comes from the little tank that was back there that you missed.
Okay. I mean, I was so busy with this camel.
Well, the camel is a variant on the Metal Slug. And this was something they added in Metal Slug 2, and it just gets more bizarre as you go through the games. The more vehicles that you can use that all have this twirling gun mechanism added to them. Yeah. And
here I was a little bit annoyed by the camel, because I don't know, I had problems with the giving direction to the shots, you know.
Yeah. Well, and that's partially, I mean, it almost feels like they wanted to do a different type of control mechanism, but the NeoGeo cabinet only has the 8-way joystick and 4 buttons.
Yeah.
And so In theory, it takes some practice to get used to. Once you have the practice down, yeah, it's again a fairly simple deal, but you have to really get used to the controls.
Okay.
Like I said, there's like 6 games in the series, so or 7 games at this point. It grows on you.
And while it does so, it surely is a quarter puller.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, it's fair. For example, I got so good at Metal Slug, I think it was Metal Slug
Suicide.
3.
Yeah.
Metal Slug 3 that I could play a good 10-15 minutes without losing a life. On one quarter, yeah. But it's one of those things where it's part memorization of the patterns, but also just knowing, when to jump off the vehicle, when to jump on the vehicle, when to,
I didn't know that at all.
which weapons to avoid, which weapons to collect. I mean, like here, for example, you go underneath it and you just start throwing all your grenades because they're all going to hit the target full blast.
And I haven't figured out how to throw grenades yet.
Yeah, well, and every time you come back, you get 10 grenades. You see it up at the top where it says bombs.
Yes, I know this now.
Yeah. You figured this out after a while, huh?
Oh yes, oh yes, and I'm proud to present that I killed this dude. Hey, I was dying there so often, and I always came back to life, and I'm wondering. I mean, in the arcade, it surely is another quarter. And how was it? On the original PlayStation.
On the original PlayStation? Well, you're playing the original PlayStation version. So I think there was an option at the front where you could set how many credits you could get. You're probably set to infinite credits. That's why you can just keep going. And you haven't died that much yet. Oh yeah, here. Let's see how many more minutes you got. Ooh, let's see. Will you actually get to the mummies? Will you get to the mummies?
I think I got to the mummies, and I think I was turned into a mummy, which was kind of a surprise, and pretty funny at the same time.
Yeah, no, the mummy effect is awesome.
Oh, I mean, this game is pretty awesome, dude. I really enjoyed playing that.
Yeah, and like I was telling you before the show, it is the real successor to the Contra series. While the Konami didn't do a tremendous amount with Contra, especially in the 32-bit era, this series, this
is when I mummied up.
It. Yeah, and
I was totally surprised by that. Totally.
Yeah, and you have to get the cure in order to turn back into. There you go. Now you're going to turn back into a normal soldier if you move forward, but the time has run out.
You picked it up. So I didn't figure that out yet.
Yeah, no. Actually, you played really well. I am surprised. I was expecting some real belly laughs of you dying again and again, and you have disappointed me by denying me my entertainment.
Dude, I'm just a core gamer. I'm just way too good. Look at the previous videos. You will see what I mean.
Exactly. Okay, let's get back to the show.